Hey guys, this is another one of our student interviews here on the Publishing Academy YouTube channel, and I'm really excited to share this one with you. Today, I'm joined by Nick. Nick is a CTO and a computer programmer who's been in the Amazon space since 2019. He's done everything from retail arbitrage to selling tens of thousands of dollars of Legos, but he eventually hit a brick wall with those models. In May of last year, he transitioned to KDP, and less than 12 months later, he had hit over $10,000 with sales, with over $6,500 being pure profit. What I love about Nick's story is his mad scientist approach. He's managed to scale his business while working a high-level full-time job and raising a son with special needs. In this interview, we talk about why he stopped trying to innovate and start selling in proven demand-focused markets, how he uses tools like Claude and custom automation to help handle the heavy lifting in his KDP business, and why he believes KDP is the ultimate business model compared to traditional physical product businesses, and many more. If you're somebody who feels like you're overthinking the process or struggles to find the time to get the work done, Nick's perspective of treating the business like a structured business is definitely one you're gonna wanna hear. And if you wanna get started with the exact same system Nick started with, you can join our free community and start our free 3-day Publish and Profit challenge. There's gonna be a link down in the description for you to start there for free. And with that being said, let's get straight to the interview. Hey everybody, it's Emeka, and I am joined by one of our students, Nick, today. And I am super excited to sit down because we've spoken a lot on SKOOL, right? A lot in the community, but we've actually, I think, only spoken on your first discovery call when you were joining the program. But you're a very active member, man. So it's good to sit down and finally get to chat with you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pumped up. I'm ready to go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Nick, why don't you first talk about, before we get to your $10,000 month, which is super exciting, let's first talk about who you are. Like, who's Nick? What do you do day to day? Are you working?
Yeah,
What's a bit about yourself?
yeah. I work from home. Well, since COVID anyway, a lot of people. I'm a computer programmer. I'm the CTO of a local software engineering firm, and we do lots of boring things in B2B space. And then additionally, I've been involved with Amazon as various business models since around 2019ish.
Cool,
Like to
cool,
ride
cool.
mountain bikes. I like drinking beer. Normal stuff.
Normal everyday things. I love that,
Exactly.
man. And you're married, you're a father. So you were doing Amazon back in 2019. When did you transition into KDP?
I transitioned into KDP in May of this past year. So we're coming up on my year anniversary right now. Prior to that, I could give you the background because there's a success, there's a huge failure, and then there's the comeback, and we're kind of on the upside of that. And that's kind of the
Kid,
arc,
let
if you will.
let's hear this. I want to hear this. I want to hear this. I think everybody
All right.
else wants to hear it as well. So go for it,
So
man.
I have a friend, longtime friend, and we'll call him sort of a mentor. I was trying different things, talking with him, and just different, affiliate marketing, whatever it is, not really sticking with anything or just kind of having ideas, losing steam, going back playing Xbox, normal sort of ADHD behavior. And he said, let me come out to your house and I'm going to show you how to do this retail arbitrage thing. I'm sure you may have heard of that. It's basically going to stores, finding arbitrage opportunities, selling the stuff on Amazon. So we're doing this and I start making all sorts of money. I mean, I sold $75,000 worth of Kohl's clearance items on Amazon in my first year, just going to scanning the Rex, selling it on Amazon. So then I said, this is kind of lame, but I kept up with it. So I started looking at other business models and I found retired Legos was an awesome niche because you could buy them on Bricklink and these other sites, and then you could flip them on Amazon. So then being a software developer, I wrote a spider and I developed a database with like 30,000 Legos, and I enriched them with their ASINs. And I wrote a robot that would find me all the wholesale opportunities. I lined up all these suppliers overseas, and we got up to around, I don't know, I had a couple of years running of like $30,000 to $40,000 of profit just selling Legos. And then when COVID happened, I went back in. I'll never forget this. I went into a Kohl's, I scanned one pair of jeans, and I said, forget this, and turned around and said, I'm never doing that again. So that was like a good thing that kind of forced me
Yeah.
to evolve. And then what happened was, to fast forward the story, is
Mm.
Amazon said, well, nobody who's not like having an account that's 15 years old or is less than $2 million in revenue is just not going to be able to sell Legos anymore. Whew. But luckily, the time that happened at the end of 2024, I was building up a war chest to make a big Q4 push. So I actually was cash rich at that time. But
Nice.
still, we reported, I don't know, about a 10K loss on that year because I had to liquidate everything on eBay. And of course, Amazon, they just chuck it any which way when they send it back to you. So it's all mangled. And, a lot of these sets were damaged and busted up when I cleared out my inventory out of FBA. So rather than letting me get that down, mentor comes back in. He goes, I've been telling you about selling books, and why aren't you selling books? So I said, all right, I'll sell books. So he kind of showed me that game, started selling books, not KDP books, straight up books. And I started selling one particular title, and I found it was available on lulu.com, which is a place you can go as a self-publisher, put your book on. And I'm like, wait a second, ding, ding, ding. This is something somebody wrote themselves, and KDP exists because I had written a book. My son actually has 2 books on Amazon through KDP. We had a little run on his books when he got in the paper for being like a 12, I don't remember, he might have been 10 years old when we published those, and it made a little bit of local press, and we sold a couple $1,000s worth of his How to Draw Dinosaurs books.
Oh, that's sick.
And then, yeah, I'll maybe post a link or something. But so I was like, oh, I already know how to do that. And so I struggled through my first book, struggled through it. But since I already knew it was a hot seller through the FBA selling somebody else's copy of it, I kind of knew how to position it, what it should be, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I knocked it out of the park in that first one, and organically was getting the account to making, I don't know, like $20 a day. And I was like, oh, this is really cool, making $20 a day. So then I started watching different influencers and things online, ran across your channel, and ran across what I consider the #1 KDP video of all time, the lottery tickets ad campaign.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
campaign
All
absolutely
right.
murders it. To this day, it's my #1 best campaign. And if you're not, and I said, this guy just made me so much money. I was like, I'm going to join at SKOOL. And then I was like, I got on there, and that I just really, all I did was just land and expand. I just,
Yeah.
in the
All right.
genre of my first book, just started building out my series, built out a website with the brand, started just making sure that my books are, better. And I just, since then just been going kind of nuts on it. And then essentially a year later, last month was my first, for the super fast forward, last month was my first month at 10K revenue, about 6,500 on the net of that, because that's the first thing someone would ask me.
That's awesome, man. So that's awesome. So about a 12-month or so journey from starting KDP to your first $10,000 month, about 6,500 in profit. But that's really, really solid. That's super solid. Hey, real quick, if you want to publish a book on Amazon and make money from it, I got this for you. I'm running a free 3-day publish and profit challenge. By the end of it, you'll have a book published on Amazon and making your first sales. I've been publishing for over 9 years. I've published hundreds of books, helped thousands of people do the same. If you don't know where to start, or you can't find a profitable topic, or you just don't want to waste time or money, this is for you. Day 1 is finding your topic, creating a book title, getting your cover locked in. Day 2, it's all about building your book. It's doing the research, creating the outline, and writing your entire book. And then day 3, polishing your book, publishing it on Amazon, and showing you how to generate your first sales. And this is free. I'm showing you the exact way to build this business without having to hide it behind a paid course. You're also going to get my free support group, and you're going to get the custom GPT that I built specifically to help you with this challenge. Just click the link in the description or go to publishingacademy.com/challenge. You'll get an email. It'll be the link to get into the SKOOL group. In the classroom section, everything's laid out. Go do it now. What were some of the lessons or struggles that you faced over the last 12 months, going from brand new publisher on KDP to where you're at today?
Well, just the screwing up a lot of like formatting and the AI workflow, just assuming the AI could just like one shot a book. And then like I'd be working with the AI for hours and not really like looking at what it made, and then figuring out it severely drifted from my original instructions, and then trying to figure out where did this happen, and then like learning eventually that just use Claude, just use Claude, but at any rate, the keeping continuity, keeping all really lots of very detailed plans. The more you do up front with AI, the better your success is going to be, because keeping those units of work, is what I call them, really small and reproducible. The other thing was, don't make a book that you think somebody will want to buy. Make a book you know somebody will want to buy. I wrote 2,700 page series. It sells a copy here and there, different books in it, but that was just like, this will be a cool idea and people really like this. No, don't waste your time. Doesn't matter if you think it's good. Sell into proven demand. That's probably the number one advice that I give anyone. Just sell books that you know are going to sell. You're trying to get base hits. You're not trying to innovate the next genre. You know what I mean? Or I'm not, I guess I should say.
No, I love that. Do you remember how long it took you roughly to really understand that lesson, to really get it?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh man, that's it.
Yeah, like 2 months of producing that series and nobody buying it was enough for me. I said,
Okay.
these books. So I just sat down, and being a humongous nerd, if that comes across, looking at all my spreadsheets, and I'm saying, okay, this estimated amount of hours working on these equals this amount of output. All of this time essentially equals $0. So we should do more of these things and less of these things. So, I mean, it was pretty simple math to me.
I
So,
love it, man. I love it. No, that's
just do
good.
the things that are going to make you money. The other thing was, I learned this in FBA early.
Yeah.
FBA taught me a lot of lessons. One is, you go on these reseller sites and they're like, oh, I went in and I found all these free boxes. I dove in a dumpster and I got boxes and they're free. And I'm like, you don't have a real business, because if you had a real business, you just go to Walmart and get a freaking stack of boxes and you put your shit in them. Oops, sorry. You put your stuff in them.
It's okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So we use prep centers. All the inventory goes to the prep center. We pay the unit fee. They send it to Amazon. We don't touch inventory. Like, we don't do things that aren't focused on leveraging our time for money. Like, we don't waste time doing grunt work. If we can pay for something that accelerates us, then we pay for it. Like education, getting in your program and learning about, ads, and learning how to do the Audible books game. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Speak to me a bit about how you've been utilizing like that type of automation and saving time in your KDP business.
Well, I am a computer programmer, as I mentioned. So at work,
Yeah.
we're huge into agentic development, and we have the maximum Claude subscriptions, and I'll have 4 or 5 of those windows open. So when I heard about a system called, I started building automations that will take my markdown files and pump them into finalized PDFs. Just anything I can automate, really. And these days, it's not gate kept by people like me who know stuff. You can just go in a prompt, hey, turn this markdown file into a PDF for me, and
Or
prompting.
I can do it.
You could do it.
I can do it.
You could do it.
Right. So it's like
Absolutely.
anybody can do it now.
And
right?
like, what blew me away is like the different ways to solve problems. Like, you came up with this way where an agent can go into a browser and look at and use and get your ad data, give you a warning. And I was like, wow, I would have never thought of that. That was really cool.
Really, because I was like, oh, I bet Nick's already doing something like this. Right.
No,
Like,
and
so I was
it
kind of
was
curious to see what you were going to think about that new
Well, I mean, being
KDP
the
ad
computer
intelligence
programmer,
engine.
I'm like, I got to get signed up for the API. I got to do that whole thing.
I didn't even know how to get the API. I was just like, hey, Claude can control my browser. I bet it could do this.
It's
And
sometimes being too smart for my own good, or not too smart, but maybe just, hey, if you have a
overthinking or
hammer, all you'll see is nails or whatever. I'm sure there's a adage that
yeah.
works.
So no, that's cool, man. That's really cool. Have you had a chance, just to segue, have you had a chance to look into that KDP ad intelligence agent yet, or not really?
I skimmed it, and I just I need to get down with it this weekend, because
Okay.
it's definitely on my radar, because I 100% need that. And especially when I saw your poster on your latest post, I was like, yes, bring my early ads. Because here's what's up right now. Like, the ads are the redheaded stepchild. Like, I get so busy doing things that I just like look and I see tacos are at 33%. Fine. I'm just going to keep going on with my day. But I don't know what's going on there. There could be campaigns bleeding. There could be campaigns with huge opportunities I'm not spending on. I just can't handle another thing. So, I kind of get in there. And the biggest issue I have with the ads
Mhm.
is I will make a bunch of changes, and then I don't remember what I changed, and then I don't
100%.
remember if what the before and after of that change equals. So I'm saying, trying to look at a campaign, right? And I'm like, all right, when did I make that change? Like, because I'm looking at a timeline and it could still be very bad based, but I could have fixed it, and I just don't know if that
That
makes
was,
sense.
I think, the biggest motivator that I
Yeah.
had for building this thing for everybody, because now it remembers all of your changes for you
Oh
and
man,
it
it's so
tells you
awesome.
that you're like, I love it because it's, yeah, no, it's so cool. And I guess it really only came out today. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
saw it, and I actually sent it to a friend of mine who's making KDP books, and I said, "Look
Nice.
at this," and he goes, "Okay, I'll check it out." So he's gonna because I was ranting at him about my woes with ads the other night, so it
Yeah,
was a recipient of a signature rant.
that's awesome. What's what is your reason for doing KDP? Like what is the end goal? I don't know if you want to call it the dream, or what do
Yeah, I
you
mean,
envision in your head with where you want to go with it and why?
absolutely. I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm doing well. Let's put it that way. No issues. But I have a lot of obligations, a lot of stress, and life shouldn't be like this, right? In other words, I should be able to wake up and just be like, I'm gonna go do hot yoga today. I'm not saying I would do hot yoga, but
You,
you
you
get my
don't you
point.
don't look like the hot yoga type, bro.
If I wake up, like I gotta get on a conference, like 5 different conference calls, talk to customers. I'm exhausted at the end of the day just from,
Okay.
coding, doing different things, and like I'd rather just have some freedom in my life, I guess. Simple as that, right? Then I have a
So,
special needs son. I
right.
think you mentioned that early, and it would be really great to be able to, be around during some of those critical points in the day where he might be needing more attention.
So it's replacing your income. Like, would that be the ultimate goal? So you can kind of walk away from more of that corporate lifestyle and just spend more time doing the things that you love?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But at the end of the day, like, I'm just a maniac, and I'm like, I got an idea in my head, and I just have to just go. I can't not go. So that's
Yeah.
just me. Like, when I was like into lifting weights, you couldn't stop me from talking about macros. I was like, put the macros, and now that
Yeah.
I'm like all about AI, whatever. So lost all the muscle and I just code every day. So, it is what it is. I'm an obsessive personality.
No, that's good. That could really work for you sometimes, for sure. For sure.
Depends on the obsession, but yeah, I
It
totally agree.
depends on the obsession. Let's
It's
put that caveat in there.
making money and going to the gym are probably not two terrible vices, right?
There you go, man. There you go. What would you could you give some advice to somebody who's watching this right now? Let's say maybe they're kind of like they're a little frustrated, they're trying to figure things out, but not going your way. Like, you remember those days. Can you give some advice to those people?
Well, not spend money where they have deficiencies
What do you mean
because,
by that?
well, I just feel like people don't necessarily like take it as seriously as I think that they should. Like, if you really suck at making a cover, just pay a professional designer to make your cover. Like, if you don't think it's worth $30, then you don't really have much confidence that book's going to make any money, right? I mean, I might be sounding a little bit harsh, but I'm just saying, treat it like a business, I guess, is maybe a nicer way to say it. It's take it a little more, back to the dumpster diver versus the professionals is going to buy the shipping supplies, put the
Yeah.
stuff in it. And the actual professional is just not going to ship at all. They're just going to source.
Love it. I love
So
that.
the less that you're doing, the more, like the mentor guy, he makes a
Mhm.
million gross a year in his business because he has automated everything to the nines and he's just really good at finding stuff to sell. That's why that. So he focuses on the one thing that actually drives the business. Everything else is somebody else is doing.
How do you stay focused on the important tasks that drive your KDP business forward and
I
not
have
get distracted with other stuff?
That's probably the number one question for ADHD guy like myself, and that is the answer to that is I have to structure myself very highly. Right now, I work in a 2-week sprint cycle, and what I mean by that is I have lots of ambitions and unproven ideas of businesses that I want to start. and things that I'm working on that are not KDP. Lots of different things that I'm working on. But I know that KDP is the thing that's making me money right now. Nothing else is making me money.
Mhm.
Everything else is speculative, 100%. So I have to get a book out at least once every other week. And I'm not allowed to do any of the fun, shiny object things until that book is pushed up and on Amazon and the reviews are pushed out to it and the A+ contents on it, etc. And that will guarantee me 22 books or whatever. I'm having a brain fart on doing basic
Yeah,
arithmetic right now, but you get
it's all good. It's all good.
27 books. There you go.
Okay. So discipline. It boils down to discipline.
Right. I mean, it's the fact is people will say, like, how do you find all the time for this? And it's because, well, I already beat every PlayStation 4 game. So, really, I
Well,
just
there
don't
is a
watch TV.
PS5, you know.
Yeah. And I definitely got stuff on my radar, especially if they release another Last of Us. But I should be spending more time. Actually, my work-life balance is terrible. It's actually a real problem and it's degraded my health significantly. And, I do have to recapture some of that, but I just work like an animal. But how would you act? How should you do it versus emulating someone doing it
Yeah.
poorly like myself would be to, there's no such thing as passive income. Sure, you can have recurring income streams that you can build, but there's no such
Mhm.
thing as passive income when it comes to building those streams. It's going to be a lot of work to get your KDP business up to 10K. You could do it and you could definitely do it. And the research and people will hit it out of the park just from really good research. So I guess focus on your research, arguably the most important part. And I think also just deeply caring that you put out a really high quality product. If you have a crap product, then it's just not going to sell. It's not going to last in the market, even if you get some
Mhm.
initial traction.
I love that,
I'm
man.
on like the third iteration because my first books, although they did very well, I was like, these aren't very good as compared to the new books I'm putting out, so I'm going to redo them. And I've redone all my top bestsellers. I'm in the middle of getting those to come out, and I'm using AI, Claude Code in particular, but you can use different AI tools to
Yeah.
relay out all of my read inside pages to look more like magazine spreads. So I thought
Oh,
that's going to be really exciting. And what you can do is if you have Claude Code, you can have it turn different things into PDFs from just like web page source. So that's just like a pro tip. There you go. So,
that's cool.
okay, how
It's
would I
it's all
manage
good.
the work-life balance? What I would quite simply just say prioritize. I attended a speech for health and fitness, and the speaker said this. He said, if you tell me you don't have enough money to eat healthy, I better not come in your house and see PlayStations and Disney vacation ticket stubs and this and that. And like, you're going to find money for the things that you prioritize. So you're going to find time for the things you prioritize. It's just that simple. And I don't sleep that much or often. So there you go.
There you go. What can we talk about when you decided to join the publishing academy? What were some of the things that brought you into or attracted you to the academy?
Oh, that's an easy one. And I don't remember the name of the principle, reciprocity principle, I believe is the name of
Yep.
it. And where the more you give, the more you get back. And you are giving so much away just for free, like the Chat GPT ad thing that prompt system that you put together. I was like,
Yep.
this is completely awesome. And then like what you just made's 2.0 of that. And I saw that you put out a YouTube video, giving some of the tea on that. And I was like, wow, this guy's giving away a lot. And although I know a lot, I'm probably maybe past a lot of people in terms of maybe your typical student profile. I don't know if that sounds cocky, but I was already making, and I knew I had a clear path forward, but I would be a fool to say this guy has nothing to teach me. And I learned lots of amazing things in there. Specifically, even just the information I have for standing up my Audible stuff is like straight gold. So I appreciate it all. And I was like, I just wanted to be in the orbit of successful people who have an abundancy mindset, which I feel I also have. So
That's fantastic. How's the group helped you? The private community that you get when you join the academy.
they appreciate me ranting at them, and my wife gets angry when I do that. So they get to be the recipients. No, I'm just teasing. Well, I'm sort of kidding, but not really. Um, no, it's just like you get answers very fast. There's a lot of smart people in there. People send me private messages. I've connected with people in big, long conversations. I found out about all sorts of new things. Like somebody's like, set up ad campaigns and bid on your own books. And I'm like, that sounds so stupid. And then I did it and they started converting at a pretty low A cost. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to do, but sure, why not? When they pull up your ad, they see just a bunch of all your books. I guess
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense, right?
Mhm.
But I just little things. I'm picking up things like this that aren't even in your courses, just from the community. So,
It's great.
or maybe that was in there and I just missed it. Sorry, didn't.
No, that wasn't.
Okay,
That
there you go.
wasn't. That was really good. So that's
Defensive
awesome.
advertising. I think I don't
Defensive
remember.
advertising. Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. And if there's anybody who's on the fence right now, they're thinking about joining Publishing Academy, the Profit Formula. Any words to them?
I can say that there's cool people in there like myself, and we're ready to help and ready to give away, like, all the hot secrets that you need to be successful, I guess. But no, just in the course, if you're needing a done for you formula that's going to get you there, go through the challenge. And if you're not convinced at the end of the challenge, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Feel like
No, that's I love
you've
that.
already given people the on ramp. They call that the trust ramp, right? So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
should
the
be
trust
trusting
around.
you by then.
I hope so because they should publish their first book by then,
Exactly. So,
right?
and it's just really
So
cool. I mean, not having inventory, like I don't, there's nothing that compares it to this business model.
it's such a great business model.
It's nothing's easy, but it's formulaic to the point where, yeah, I don't expect that you would necessarily have my level of success, like, but you could easily, like, results not typical. I'm not saying you could exceed it easily, but what I'm saying is I came in with a lot of extremely deep Amazon knowledge. So I just want people to know that. So, like, my first book being a hit was based on data that I had
Right.
collected, and I knew all about it and everything. So, but even then, I mean, I just stumbled my way through it. If I had just found a mech off the get jump, I would have not made a lot of the mistakes that I kind of made in that first month. And no, I didn't do anything super damaging. I just did things, redid things, did them again, sort of, as I kind of stumbled through the process on my own.
It's awesome, man.
Easier
No,
with a friend. And in my opinion, it's not that expensive for what you get out of it.
good to hear. Good to hear. Well, Nick, thank you so much, man, for taking some time out of your schedule with everything going on. I appreciate that. Everybody, we'll put some links in the description for you to check out afterwards. And as always, I'm Emeka. Peace.